There's been a foul stench seeping up from the surface for the last 24 to 30 hours in the One Piece community. The One Piece community is effectively on fire right now. There is a lot of controversy and debating, and people are just up in arms and just complaining about the upcoming episode of One Piece. And you're probably wondering why. What's going on here? Let's just get all this into one very good summary. So basically, the latest episode of One Piece that came out a few days ago effectively concluded the Wano arc for One Piece, an arc that's been ongoing for like 2 to 3 years within the anime. It's been a very long arc, so to speak, and it finally concluded. And with the upcoming arc that is going to be Egghead, Toei Animation, the animators of One Piece, have decided to change the Wano art animation style into a new, softer look. For instance, if you look at this Luffy right here, it's very clear with the line work, the jaw outline, all that. It's distinctively different than, like, the Wano design of Luffy. Like, here, let me show you a comparison. So this was a post that someone made, and you can see just automatically the very different, take on Luffy. Like, the line work, the way the hair is drawn, everything. There is a very distinct difference within the two art styles, from Luffy here, which is going to be the upcoming episode, to Luffy from Wano. And obviously there is people praising this as well, but the thing is that there's just been a lot of back and forth debating within the community, people saying that this is a great upgrade to Luffy's design, and then people saying that, it is just outright awful, it's trash, this is a mega downgrade, and people are saying One Piece's artwork is going back into the dumpster bin, so to speak. So let's talk about this. Like, what's happening here? Why is the art style shifting? Why does Luffy look more roundish or softer looking? Why are they even doing this when obviously the reception to the Wano arc for One Piece has just been so good? Why would they change it? Well, it's very clear that Toei Animation, their new direction with the One Piece anime is adapting the art style to the arc. For instance, Wano obviously had this very old-fashioned aesthetic, like traditional Japanese design and all that, with a lot of the designs of the characters. It was really good. I think that's what really blew a lot of people away with, the Wano arc. It's just how a lot of the characters were drawn. And if you went from, like, the previous arc into Wano, it was just a massive shift in just art style and animation. It was incredible. And so, basically, people have gotten used to this for the past few years. Like, One Piece truly has been incredible as an anime, because you go back like 5-6 years ago, people didn't really like the One Piece anime. You can say whatever you want, the anime was just not good. It wasn't. Like, it had good story, but it was just, there's so many issues with it. And so, basically, when Wano came out, it really started to get more people into the anime again, because it finally was back on track to where One Piece should be, what it should have been in the first place. So basically, now that we've gotten used to this and the art style is shifting, people's concerns, which is warranted, are concerned that now that Wano's done and we've had all these years of great art and animation, Toei's just going to start going back to traditional art style like Dressrosa, for example, and that's just what's going to happen to One Piece. But I don't think that's exactly the case. What's happening here is that Toei is adapting the art style from the arc. For instance, Egghead is a very distinct art style, very different from Wano, and it has a more softish line work or tone to it. And it seems like Toei wants to do that. They want to be a little bit different now with each arc of One Piece and change it up to make it look very distinct and different, which I think is absolutely incredible. I think that is a very good direction to take the One Piece anime, which I think that's why Luffy looks obviously very softer. The tone of his design is just very different than obviously his Wano design that you see right here. Now, obviously, people are not just talking about that, they're also talking about, like, Usopp's design or Frankie's design, how it looks very different from, obviously, the Wano arc. And, truthfully, once again, I like the design, because, let me just be completely blunt here without really spoiling anything. Because of how the artwork is, it's going to lead to some incredible looking fights. Like, just imagine Gear 5 within this arc, okay? With this type of softer style. I think it truly could shine and be absolutely wacky and just blow our minds. I cannot wait to see what they do with this art and animation. So, the complaints on it are warranted if people are worrying about, like, going back to maybe Dressrosa pre-Wano art and animation, but I don't necessarily think that's what's happening here. I just think that, Toei's like, the Wano art style just would not suit Egghead, so they need to shift, the art style and make it a little bit different. Now, another thing on a good note that I see a lot of people praising, though, actually, I've seen a little bit negative about it. I'll talk about that in a second, but we're going to get our first real look at Emu. The head honcho of the Gorosei, or the world government. We're finally going to get to see them, as you can clearly see their eyes appearing in this PV trailer and all that, and it hints like, oh no, it's finally happening. And there's been a lot of controversy and all that about, if it's, Emu is a male or a female, and oh my goodness, what a crazy mess that one is. There's been so much talk, and this is another reason why the community's been on fire, because people are like, Emu should be a female, but it's very clear by the naming and the voice acting now listed or whatever, it's, Emu is not going to be a female. So there's just a lot of headcanon that people are upset that their headcanon didn't turn out to be true, and they're very upset. It's just been crazy. Like, the last 24, 30 hours of One Piece has legitimately been insane, but I welcome the new art style. I think that this is legitimately amazing look for the characters and stuff. I see no problem with it personally, but once again, I can see the concern, but I don't think we're going back to Dressrosa type stuff. I think it's just Toei wanting to do a new direction with the art and animation. I think that's fine. So, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. Tell me your thoughts. Do you agree with the art style shift? Do you think they should have stuck with the Wano design? Let me know in the comments below. But with that, Chibi out.